This is a kind of dramatic interpretation of the table I'm going to be drawing, but I measured the wall from here to here is about 44 inches. So I'm going to do the table at 36 inches, and then the legs I'm also going to do a height of 36 inches. And these legs are going to be, I'm going to use 2 by 8, and then the top is going to be a 2 by 10. So it's just a little bit wider than the legs. So I have my pieces of wood cut. I have the top here and then the legs cut here. And so now what I'm going to be doing is working on the angle that I want the legs to be at. They're not gonna be straight up and down, they're gonna be angled out just a little bit. So I need to set my table saw, see what angle I need to put it at, and cut them down. Now, since I wasn't sure of the angle I wanted the legs to be at, what I'm going to do is come down to my table saw. If you have a table saw like this is the Shopmaster by Delta, or something similar, there's this gauge of angle, and this is what changes the angle of the blade. So you unlock this, and you can change the angle, and then this raises and lowers it. But this swinging part changes the angle, so I put it to 20 degrees, which is what I was kind of guessing I wanted to do. I took a scrap piece of wood and cut it at 20-degree angle, which is what this is. And I can stand it up and see if the angle is what I want it to be. That was a little too steep for what I want, so I turned it down to a 10-degree angle and ended up with this baby. So I ended up doing a 10-degree angle on the cut of the legs, and I will also explain, make sure that when you are cutting the angles that they are going the correct direction. So they are going to run parallel to one another. So this edge is the high end, which means this should be the high end. See? So basically I cut one side and then I flipped it over. I didn't just rotate it, I flipped it and got the angle that I needed. I'm going to be distressing each of these boards, and I'm going to use my sander, the drill with a wire brush attachment, and a hammer. Got my first round of distressing done, and I actually added in another tool, got a chisel, and that is helping a lot. I really like the wire brush. That's giving a lot of texture. And then over here, I took out big chunks with the chisel. So I think that's working well too. So we're gonna do a little bit more today and see if we can finish this puppy up. Now that I'm happy with how everything looks, how I distressed everything, I'm gonna give it a light sanding just so it's not fibers everywhere when I stain the console and everything. I still want it to be soft, just distressed. These are the tools I'm gonna be using to create pocket holes on the inside of the legs so that I can attach them to the top. So this will be my inside, this will be outside. I set my Craig jig to 1.5 inches right here depth, and I set the collar on the drill to 1.5 inches as well, and I'm going to be using 2.5-inch screws. So now that I have the pocket holes drilled, I have to figure out, so this is the outside of my leg, and to get it to tilt the proper way, I'll put it like that. So I want to determine where I want the legs on the bench. I'm going to draw a line and make sure the legs are equidistant from each side, and then drill in my pocket screws. I'll probably put some wood glue on the inside as well, just to have a really good secure hold. These pocket holes are meant to not be seen, and you don't really see them, but it is high, so you kind of see them. So what I'm going to do is fill them with wood glue and sawdust to help them disappear. Before I stain this, I'm going to add some pre-stain conditioner, wood conditioner by Varathane, and that'll just help the stain absorb evenly over the wood. So this table's pulling very yellow, and I was hoping the sanding would get rid of that. So what I'm gonna do to get rid of the yellowish tint is I made this whitewash. I just made it out of white paint that I had and water, and so I'm going to brush this all over the table and then add my stain.